Hello everyone, welcome to the channel for everything football, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys my plans for match day 2 in the UEFA Euro fantasy game. I will be playing my Limitless Chip, and I'm going to be showing you guys my decisions. Remember, this is just a game. Everyone has their own feelings, so make sure to go with their own decisions, but I'm just going to be giving you some ideas of what I'm thinking. But first I'm going to be showing you my match day 1 team for around 40 seconds, and then we can get straight into that. Cool. Make sure you drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe, and let's get straight into. So for my match day 1 team, up front I had Ronaldo, Lukaku and Depay. Ronaldo and Lukaku both getting braces, didn't disappoint. 3 of those 4 goals came very late on in the game, so I was really appreciative of that. Depay disappointing, his team scored 3 goals, didn't get any returns. In midfield I went for a couple of differentials. That was Shaqiri and Alaba, and they all got assists. Berardi on the right as well got an assist, and Insigne, who was my captain, I should have switched him maybe to a Ronaldo Lukaku later on, but 16 points, cannot fault that. And then at the back, Stones got a return, a clean sheet. Kjær from Denmark, unfortunately not to get anything. Obviously we all know what went on in that game. Tierney didn't play a minute, and then Sakir, oh yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Turkish goalkeeper, was in my goal. So the only disappointment there was really Tierney not playing, and ended up being with 10 players and 60, I think it was 66 points. I'm definitely okay with that from those players. So here's my plans for match day 2. So as you can see, I've definitely retained a couple of players from my match day 1 team, the ones who did really well. But since I can spend as much money as I like and make as many transfers as I like, I've gone for the big hitters. So let's start in goal. Thibaut Courtois, I kept a clean sheet against Russia in the last game, didn't really have anything to do, so I'm hoping for the same against Denmark, who failed to score against Finland. I also think he's the safest option. I think Denaya didn't start the last game, and Boyata started instead of him, and I'm hearing Vermaelen could start instead of Vertonghen. Obviously Castagne is now injured, so he's the safest option. You could see more rotation at the back in this game, unfortunately, so I think Courtois is the safest option to start. Mooney as well is very safe, and that's why I've gone for him in the back, so I'm going to come back to him later. But Thibaut Courtois is my first choice, and then the goalkeeper on the bench is Pickford against Scotland. Scotland didn't score against Czech Republic. England, the way Southgate plays his game, sometimes at the back 4, sometimes at the back 5, usually like defensive minded. You'd expect him to keep a clean sheet against Scotland at least. So if it doesn't work out for Courtois, Pickford will come in for him. And then speaking of Mooney, as I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, at the back, he came in the 30th minute against Russia after Castagne got injured. Quick recovery to him, and he actually ended up getting a goal, an assist and a clean sheet. And the way he bombs forward, that's a guy to own. He picked up 15 points in the first game, and this is 5.5, and that doesn't matter when you're playing Limitless Chip. So I'm going to go for Mooney in that position. And then my next defender is Spinazzola, another one who did very, very well against in the first round of matches against Turkey. Clean sheet and assist. I had Florenz in match day 1, and he got subbed off at halftime, so that was a downer. But Spinazzola, the way he played in that game, picked up the man of the match, I think, as you can see. So I'm going to go for him as well. Italy playing against Switzerland, might not be a clean sheet, but at least a chance for attacking returns there. My next defender is Lucas Hernandez, France. Picked up an assist as well as a clean sheet against Germany. He's attacking threat, and probably a clean sheet against Hungary as well. Hungary probably the weeping boys. Not really, because they actually played very well against Portugal, but against France you'd expect like a 3 or 4-0. So Lucas Hernandez clean sheet, I think that is guaranteed for me. So 6.5, that's what it costs. So I'm going to go for him. And then Zinchenko. Now Zinchenko, he played not very well against the Netherlands. They lost 3-2, which was an okay effort from them, but he plays further forward. He's listed as a defender, but he played in an advanced position. So against North Macedonia, we could easily see a clean sheet and an attacking return there. So I think Zinchenko could be a good option for this week. 5.5 is what it costs. And then my last defender is Jordi Alba. Now for Jordi Alba, it was between Jordi Alba or Ferran Torres. I was either going to go for one Spain attacker or a defender, and I've decided to go for a defender because the way they kept the possession in that game against Sweden, it never looked like they were going to concede a goal. So I'm expecting more of the same against Poland, a Polish team who lost against Slovakia. So the way he always bounce forward as well, so him putting in a lot of crosses in that game. That is my fifth and last pick, so 6.0. He's going to start on the bench with Lucas Hernandez and then maybe come in later if needed. Probably needed, but if they're not needed and everyone else delivers 10 points, they might stay on the bench. So that's my defensive options. And now next, let's go into my 5 midfielders. So into my midfield, the first player that I've retained is Insigne. 8.5 is what it costs. Got a goal, got a clean sheet point in the first game against Turkey, and he looked very good up front with Ciro Immobile. And also in this game against Switzerland, I'm expecting him to deliver definitely, maybe an assist or a goal. He also had a lot of chances against Turkey, a couple of shots off target, so he's getting the chances, he's shooting the ball, and we could see a return here, so I'm definitely retaining him. And then my next midfielder is Wijnaldum. Now, Wijnaldum, I'd say, is only in my team because I had to get Mbappe in for someone, and Mbappe coming into my team meant that I had to take out Depay. Depay didn't really impress me in the first game. I would have kept him for Austria, but since I really needed Mbappe against Hungary, and I'm definitely not taking out Ronaldo and Lukaku, I'll come talk about later, I definitely have to take him out. So I'm going to go for Wijnaldum in midfield to cover for me in the Netherlands game. And against Austria, he was also playing in an advanced position against Ukraine. 8.0, I'm going for him. So Insigne and Wijnaldum are my first 2 midfielders, and then the third one is Raheem Sterling. Not much to be said about him. I think he's kind of the safest pick. He might end up sitting on the bench, obviously, you never know what the managers are thinking, but I think the likes of Foden and Phillips are the ones who could be prone to rotation a bit in this game. So Sterling, I think he'll start. And I also can't really have Kane in because, as I've mentioned, I need those 3 strikers in my team. So Sterling, I think I'll have him there. If he doesn't start, obviously, I have a couple of players on the bench who can come in. So Sterling, 9.5. is in my team as well. And then the fourth midfielder is 2 differentials. The first one is Gareth Bale versus Turkey. Turkey in that second half against Italy, they were all over the place. Seemed like they would concede 5 or 6, and Wales weren't that bad in their game against Switzerland. Bale is on set pieces, some free kicks, some penalties if they get one. So I think he's a very good option to have as a differential. I'm not expecting them to score 5 or 6 or to have the kind of attacking threat that Italy has. I've never known Wales to be that kind of team, but if he gets a goal, I'll be happy with that. So Bale is in my team with 9.5. That's what he costs. And then the last differential in midfield is Yarmolenko. Played quite well against Netherlands, scored outside the box. Remember, in the fantasy game for the Euros, if you score outside the box, you get the 5 points for scoring and an extra point for scoring from outside the box. So Yarmolenko, that threat, something else that Bale could also have from outside the box. Playing against North Macedonia, team that conceded 3 against Austria, you could easily see Yarmolenko benefiting from that, and that means a double up for me in the Ukraine game, Zinchenko and Yarmolenko. So let's hope they deliver. And finally, let's go into my 3 forwards for the game. As I've mentioned already a couple of times, Lukaku and Cristiano Ronaldo are definitely staying in my team. Ronaldo, doesn't really matter who he's playing against, whether it's Portugal, whether it's Hungary, whether it's Germany, whether it's France here playing against his own Portugal, he'll definitely score. So he scored 2 goals, although later on against Hungary, I'm expecting him to get a goal as well in this match day against Germany, whether it's 1 goal. I can see a draw there and I can see him getting a goal. He's also on penalties, not Bruno Fernandes. So he, for me, definitely has to stay in my team unless you're crazy. There's an option of taking him out and bringing in the likes of Depay or maybe Griezmann, who's up against Hungary, but I definitely prefer Ronaldo, the all-time top scorer in the Euros. So I'm definitely banking on him. Lukaku is the other one. He's a machine up front, and against Denmark, I could see him getting another couple of goals. And the last one I had to bring in was Mbappe. He scored, he assisted, although both were disallowed, but the pace in behind is crazy. And against Hungary, who managed to concede 3 goals in the last 5 minutes against Portugal, if France turn up, it could be 6 or 7, and Mbappe could get a hat-trick in this game. So Mbappe is my last option there. So to run through the team again, Courtois and Pickford the goalkeepers, Spinazzola, Meunier, Zinchenko, Lucas Hernandez and Jordi Alba at the back. My 5 midfielders are Sterling, Wijnaldum, Gareth Bale, Yarmolenko and Insigne, and then up front I have Kylian Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo and Romelu Lukaku. So as I said, remember there are a lot of options you could have. As I mentioned, the likes of Depay you could have in this game week. You could go maybe for Berardi from Italy, but yeah, it really depends on how you're feeling about this game week. But remember, play your own game. Thank you for watching. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. I'll be back with another video for match day 3, and I'll catch up with you guys later.